wrapping up this series of life groups and wrapping up the Talk is Cheap, deeper study of the Lord's Prayer. Um, I didn't have time really, and we didn't have time in this context of life groups really to expound on every point that I sought to make in the series Talk is Cheap. And when I was narrowing it down and thinking, what studies would I write? What curriculum would I create to go hand in hand with the messages I preach? How would I wrap this up? And temptation is big, I know, but that's not where I settled. I settled on forgiveness. And to talk about forgiveness is so crucial to the life of a Christ follower. When Jesus taught this part of the Lord's Prayer, forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. The specific Greek word, ophiliema, is used for sin in this context. Maybe you learned the Lord's Prayer saying, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Forgive us our sins as we forgive those who have sinned against us. The literal translation is debt, the most accurate term for the Greek. But what it really means, and again, you would have to understand a lot about the Jewish culture to really get the bigger point. Talking about the year of Jubilee and all those things that those who were being taught by Christ, his disciples, who had been immersed in that for their whole life, they would see it in a way we don't necessarily see it. But when Jesus was teaching this to them, the literal translation of this particular petition would sound something like this. And forgive us our sin or our debt in proportion to our forgiving the sin or the debt of others to us. So forgive us only as much as I'm willing to forgive others. Don't forgive me more, God, than I'm willing to forgive that person who sinned against me. And one thing about forgiveness, man, it's hard. When somebody has wronged you, forgiveness is really counterintuitive. What is intuitive, what seems to be natural, what seems to come easy is revenge. What seems to come easy is harboring bitterness. What seems to come easy is holding on to a grudge with a death grip saying, how dare you? Forgiveness is tough. Forgiveness is difficult. But it is so incredibly necessary. So in this session that you're going to talk about with your life group, talking about forgiveness is going to be hard for some of you. For some of you, it's going to be eye-opening. For some of you, it may feel like a revelation of what you needed to do for a long time. Forgiving is laying down your arms. It's laying aside your weapons to harm and to hurt. It's giving up your right to hurt someone in return for the hurt that they've caused you. That's what forgiveness is. And man, I want you to know, as you go through your life group and as you go through your talk tonight and your sharing and your opening up, hopefully, I want you to understand that I get how hard this is. I pray this prayer, this piece of the petition, regularly, and I name names. Help me to forgive this person, and don't forgive me anymore, God, than I'm willing to forgive this person. There are people who it would be easy for me to hold a grudge toward, that I pray and I ask God specifically and directly to bless these people, to help these people, to bring an awareness of their need for Him in their lives, because it's hard for me not to forgive people that I'm sincerely and genuinely praying for. Not praying against, not like the country song that says, I pray you have a blowed out tire at 90 miles an hour or whatever I heard the other day. Not praying against somebody, but praying for them. It's hard for me not to forgive somebody that I'm truly praying for. Although I've been tempted to pray against people, sure I have. I've been tempted to pray, God, smite them, strike them, bring iniquity on them. I've been tempted to do that. But Jesus' teaching is so opposite of that. It's so different than that. It's so inspired toward love that it makes it really hard for me to hate. And that's what unforgiveness is. It's hatred towards someone else. So if you've been held hostage by a grudge you've held, if you've been held hostage by by thoughts in your mind, if you've been held hostage by wrongs done to you, realize that the Lord is depending, His forgiveness is available to you in proportion to your forgiveness towards others. That may shape the way you view your marriage. That may shape the way you look at how you raise your kids, how you interact with your parents, how you interact with those who have done harm to you, how you say, I'm sorry, and please forgive me. It's one of those things. Forgiveness is a lot like friendship. You get as much out of it as you invest into it. And so, as you wrap up this life group session, talk is cheap, and summer's about to hit full swing for everyone. July 4th is just around the corner. We'll be doing a big outreach that I hope you and your life group will make time to be a part of on Sunday, the July 4th weekend. I hope you'll be here. It's going to be great. But I hope more than anything you'll focus on forgiveness tonight and the context and the application that it can have to setting you free. To setting you free. And there's such a dynamic piece of maturity that awaits you when you forgive. God bless you. It's such an honor to be called your pastor. And my prayer for you is that forgiveness would be commonplace in your life as you see it.